Hello nippies, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Nips and I'm a freelance artist. I create all sorts of art here on YouTube, so if you want to go check that out, go ahead to my channel and take a sneak peek at all the other art that I do. For today, we're going to be working on something a little bit different than I normally do, which is going to be some custom Animal Crossing boots. You read the title right. Animal Crossing New Horizons just came out, and I know everybody's been stuck in quarantine playing it. I hope you guys are well and healthy. I decided it would be kind of fun to do this theme because I have never worked with Posca pens before, and I don't think I've ever customized something like this. So I didn't want the complexity to be too high. So I thought this would be perfect in all aspects, design and timing. I started by looking up the villager designs online, compiled some of my favorites, and then opened up my sketchbook to do some thumbnails and draft some ideas, which, funny story about that, I went ahead, drafted the boot sketches, but then ended up not even using them because, I don't know, something just came over me and I decided to just try my hand at putting this loose concept that I had in my head onto the boot directly because the pencils were working well and they were erasing well, so I thought, why not? I had an idea of, on the outsides of the boots, putting a kind of a collage of villagers, and then similar to the Converse logo, that's a circle on the side, on the outside, I wanted to put the leaf, and then on the other one to put the bell bag. And so on one boot, I decided to put the kind of quote-unquote NPC like default villagers, ones like Tom Nook, Isabelle, the sisters, KK Slider, and put all of those on one side. Then on the other boot, I wanted to put some of my favorite villagers in general. I started swatching, unwrapping and swatching them here. I did get them imported from Japan, I think they came. So they've been shaken pretty violently, I assume. Even with a light push of the tip, a lot of the ink was coming out. It was very frustrating, and eventually I kind of caught on that it was gonna happen with all of them. So I took out a sticky pad to make it easier to dispose of the excess ink, and I got all the colors swatched out. Now, I will say I decided to get the most expensive set of Posca pens, which included all of the colors. I don't know if there's more colors than this. Let me know if there are. I thought I got all of them, but I feel like the range of colors was not as large as I thought it was going to be. They looked much better online, and then when I swatched them, I realized how limited I was kind of in my palette. So I started trying to match the colors to the villagers as best as I could, and eventually I realized that I could literally use them as paint because they are paint markers. I realized this with Isabelle because her colors, I didn't have the right yellows and browns that I wanted for her, and so I decided to experiment, and I pulled out a paintbrush and it worked perfectly. From then on out, if I needed a specific color or gradient, I would just pull out a brush and start mixing them. I did want to keep the designs simple as much as I could. I didn't want it to be a full-on painting quite yet. This is still my first set of custom boots, so I wanted to leave the complexities for another time. I just wanted to kind of get a feel for the markers, get a feel for the process, and not worry too much about making this super detail filled. I started doing the other parts of the boot with grass patterns. I did know I needed some parts of the boots that were not so crowded and busy. The outside of the boot has the NPC villagers, and it's got a lot going on, to be quite honest. So I decided to put where the laces are the grass pattern of the ground. One of the things that I started noticing while working with these markers, at least on this surface, which is why I swatched them on that specific surface, is that I needed to do several layers, and then there were times where the marker would dry and flake. And no matter how thin I would lay it, because I realized that if I laid the marker on too thick, the parts where it would bubble, it would then dry and flake off. So I thought that I had figured out the solution, and then I started laying it on pretty thin, and it would still happen. So I'm still not quite sure if it's just the material of the boot or what happened, but I tried my best to work around it. But in the end, there are definitely some parts of the boot that still are flaky. Like I said, my first time working with these, I apologize that it's really, I don't think it's the highest of quality. I decided to continue using the brush for smaller details, getting those colors that I want, working alongside the more delicate edges that require more finesse. The ones I'm using are the Posca coloring pens PC3M. It's the full range of 32. There are smaller ones and there are larger ones, so it depends on the tip that you prefer. There you'll see some of the parts that were lifting off and drying kind of strange. It got to a point where I was too scared to layer them any further. I didn't want to damage the boot or damage the design by continuing to pile on layers and layers of paint. So there were some parts I decided to just compromise and leave them as is and hope that the laminating spray would kind of even it out, if that makes any sense. Which in the end it did. There were some parts that actually ended up looking better after I sprayed them, so I'm glad that I guessed semi-correctly there. Here you'll see me now finally just using them as paint, mixing in the colors that I can for Bob. And I will say the back part of the shoe where I put the fruits, while I do like the design, I feel like as the boot art went on, I started to regret putting those there more and more. I think that design is slightly too busy for how I ended up designing the rest of the shoe. I feel like those fruits probably should have gone elsewhere because the shoe looks a little cluttered from behind, especially with the side of the boot having all the villagers. But what's done is done. I did the back of the boots pretty early on, so I definitely did not want to erase the hard work that I had done, and I decided to just take that as a learning experience for my next set of custom items, I guess. Let me know if there's something you'd like to see me customize. I was gonna give these away, but I decided not to because there's no other way to say it, but I'm not in the greatest financial situation to be giving these away. So I thought it would be kind of fun to put them on eBay. It's been a long time since I've used eBay, so if you are interested in owning these are women's size 8, and they're in American size, of course, so I'm not quite sure how that would translate to other country sizes and other gender sizes, so you'll definitely have to do your own conversions there. They will be on eBay until 3 days from now, I think. They've been on there for about a week already, I would say. So if you guys want to check that out, the link will be in the description. And if you're watching this post-auction, then I hope I'll have created some more customizations for you guys to enjoy. on the inside of the boots here, I actually had a completely different plan, but after finishing most of the boot, I decided that it was gonna look way too busy and it would become an eyesore to add what I wanted. So I decided to just go with something simple, like some of the leaves from the front of the boot. If I'm not mistaken, these are what the New Horizon leaf patterns look like. I've seen them floating around the internet and I really like them, so I decided to just go with those. Finish it off by adding some Nips logos in the back and adding a Nips logo also on the tongue of the shoe. This was another part of the boot that cracked a bit and I was really scared to continue piling on paint here. I decided to kind of leave it even with a bit of the cracked paint leftovers. For this part of the boot, I decided I wanted to keep it as plain as possible because the laces were going to be on top of it. And as my first customization, I didn't want to go too overboard. I just kind of wanted to do enough just so I could see a result before I continue to attempt to level up the customization techniques. So I thought it would be pretty nice and simple to add my logo to the tongue of the boot using the Animal Crossing logo design. That was fun, quick, simple. That way I can put the laces on top without them interfering with any parts of the paint other than maybe the grass portions there, but that one was going to be inevitable. Decided to take some B-roll of what it looked like complete without the laminating spray because I was not sure what was going to happen. I didn't wait till the next morning because it takes about 24 to 48 hours for it to dry, and I wanted to sleep on it and really see what it was going to look like the next day in case I needed to fix it, and I wanted to get the video out on time, so I decided to just go ahead and spray it at night. I was really scared that the paint was going to run, that it wasn't going to look well, that it wasn't going to dry properly, that I just had the worst expectations for what the spray was going to do to these boots, but I'm actually just so pleased with how it turned out. There were some parts where I did spray too much, or because of the shape of the boot and the quantity that I sprayed, it ended up kind of pooling the laminating spray in some parts. That's one thing that I don't like, but other than that, I feel like they came out pretty nicely. Here we are with the laces, the finished product. I'm so happy that I finally got to draw on these. I've had these in my house for, I want to say, a couple months now, and they're finally painted on, completed. I'm pretty happy with with the result. I definitely learned a lot. I'm looking forward to either customizing another set of shoes or customizing something else, maybe some phone cases. I'm not quite sure, but I really like how the Posca pens feel and how they work. Let me know what you guys think down below. I definitely like to do some giveaways at some point. I feel like these are really fun to just give away. Just give them a nice fun home. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see customized if I ever decide to do another one in the future. And if you guys want to check out the boots, again, the eBay link will be in the description down below, the Twitter link as well if you guys want to see better pictures of them. Follow me on Twitter at onips and on Instagram at casualnips. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead, subscribe, become part of the Nippy family. Go check out some of the other art videos that I have up. Again, take care during the coronavirus times. Things are very sensitive right now. I hope you guys are well, healthy, your friends, your family, everyone, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.